The PTE Write Essay question tests how well you express yourself in English with good sentences and a well-organized structure. Let's talk about how you can write an essay that will earn you every available point. Hi, I'm Sharon, and I'm a PTE trainer here at Benchmark Education Solutions. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Write Essay question in the writing section of the PTE exam. I'm going to give you some important details about this question type, tell you how it's scored, and provide you with some important tips. Let's get started with some useful information. This is the second of two tasks in the writing section. You will see either one or two of these questions on test day, and you will have 20 minutes to plan and write your essay. Note that if your exam contains two essay questions, only one will count toward your score. The other will be used to help train the computer algorithm that scores your PTE test. For these questions, you will need to respond to a question by writing an essay of 200 to 300 words. Typically, 250 words is a good amount to strive for. The question prompts typically include explaining the advantages or disadvantages of something, agreeing or disagreeing with something, deciding on the best of something from a list of options and explaining why, agreeing with one of two sides in an argument, or providing either a solution to a problem or explaining the cause and effect of something. Of course, this long form of writing is typically despised by test takers since it takes a lot of time and can require a lot of steps. In our in-depth lesson, we will show you some foolproof steps to take so you can write a great essay. We'll go over a few of those tips today in this video. Now let's take a look at scoring. This question counts toward your writing score. It's scored on a partial credit system since there isn't one right or wrong answer to the questions. Your score is based on a few things like content, form, grammar, vocabulary, development, structure, and coherence, general linguistic range, and spelling. We'll talk more about each individual part. The highest possible score you can get for a great essay is 15 points. This chart shows you the score you need to achieve in each area to get the maximum score of 15. Notice that the content score ranges from 0 to 3, whereas the other areas have a high score of 2. Let's look at each of these areas in more detail, starting with content. Basically, make sure you're writing about the topic and answering the question in the prompt. A score of 3 means that you have satisfactorily complied with the topic. A score of 2 means that you have complied with the topic but lacks one minor feature. So perhaps you didn't go into depth on one area that was mentioned in the question prompt. A score of 1 in content means that you've complied with the topic but neglected to mention more than one minor feature. And a score of 0 means that you've written something that did not comply at all with the topic. So as you can see, there are varying levels in your content score. In our in-depth lesson, we talk more about how to analyze the question prompt for these key elements and how to write an essay that will satisfy these requirements. Next up is form. Form is very simple since it just looks at the number of words you've written. Stay within the 200 to 300 word range. In fact, 250 words is a great number to strive for. Make sure to remember these key details. The next part of the scoring involves your grammatical accuracy. Make sure you're practicing your grammar, whether that means looking at different tenses or making sure that your subjects and verbs match. The next part looks at vocabulary, or your choice of words. Just like your grammar, you will need to have a good grasp of vocabulary. Here's an important tip. Don't just use big words if you don't know what they mean. It's better to use language you're familiar and confident with, rather than using advanced words incorrectly. These scoring details are very important, and just a few tiny errors could cost you some points. As you may have seen with some other question types, spelling is very important. Notice how one spelling error would still result in 1 point. Make sure you're being consistent with your use of either UK or US spelling too. Next is how you develop the ideas in your essay and how well you construct your sentences to move easily from idea to idea. You will need to focus on your logical development as well as organizing your paragraphs. It's very important to connect each of your paragraphs and ideas with connective words, which is something we go over in the in-depth lesson. And finally, your linguistic level is also part of your score. Similar to the vocabulary tip we provided earlier, make sure you're confident in your language skills and that you're using words correctly. Of course, you do not want to use only basic English. You should be preparing vocabulary as you practice, but make sure that you're not using highly advanced and complicated words in your essay just to sound smart. If done incorrectly, this could result in a lower score. Before we wrap up this video, let's go over these important tips that will help you as you write. It's important to plan your essay outline wisely before you start writing. You should do this in 1 to 2 minutes. Remember, you will have 20 minutes from start to finish. Part of making a good outline involves formulating a good thesis statement. This will be the main argument that you make in your essay, and it should show the reader what you're going to talk about. This will help you set up your paragraphs. By the way, you should strive to have 4 paragraphs total. This will help you structure your essay effectively. When it's time to write, make sure you're not writing in all capital letters. Only the first word of each sentence and the first letter of names and titles, also called proper nouns, should be capitalized. Make sure you're focusing on the structure of your essay as well by using connecting words like in addition, next, and other temporal words. Also, don't write things that are irrelevant to your topic just to meet your word count. This will count against your score, so you need to stay on topic. Be sure to manage your time wisely. If you spend 2 minutes preparing, you should spend around 15 or 16 minutes writing and leave the rest of the time for checking and revising. As we mentioned earlier, strive to have around 250 words. This is a good amount of words that ensures you'll get a good score for form. Spending 1 to 2 minutes checking and revising will help you catch minor typing and spelling mistakes, and fixing them could improve your score. This is a very important step, so don't skip it. I hope this overview of the right essay question type has helped you, and that now you have a better idea of what is expected of you so you can score well. Visit our website at edubenchmark.com to find lots of resources and tips for the right essay question type. We also have a writing correction service where you can submit your sample essays and have them checked by experienced PTE instructors who know exactly how your essay will be scored. You'll get individualized help for the way you write. You should also watch our in-depth lesson on Write Essay with a full breakdown of the writing process, and watch the helpful do's and don'ts for this question type. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.